Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Capital. And this is a continuation of a Drinks by Design event on July 12th of the year 2018. And every month, Drinks by Design has a different venue, and it affords you the opportunity to check out these different places. And this particular building is a bunch of entrepreneurs or architects, designers, artists, the like, small business people. And I'm not sure how they're doing the building up, but they subdivide it, and I'm sure they pay part of the rent. We're going to see Zug Island here by summertime. In just a little bit. That will be the second part of the show, but I've become a big fan of Zug Island. This here in Art's Place, and they had stickers for sale, but they were actually doing buttons, and they were free. You just put your little design, and so I did mine, and I'll come back in a little bit and pick them up. This is video art, and I like that. $200, that seemed reasonable. Pretty vibrant colors. And with these lines, I started checking all this out. It's amazing what you can do. It's like optical illusion type stuff. This one I liked here. You know, there's a lunar eclipse happening later this night. This is on, I'm doing the voiceover here on July 27th. But you have to be in South Africa, I guess, to get that lunar eclipse. But it's like for an hour and some minutes long. So, that's fabric art there. Yeah, they had like 6 or 7 different businesses have this exhibition, an open house. This was the main entrance here to the building. Last week's show, I showed a little bit more of everything. So kind of getting in the middle of this particular show. If only I knew how to edit. Then I could just keep all the good stuff, and I could shrink it down and get it to fit in 1 hour. But here, like art from the outside, and a lot of people do those selfies and so forth. Here's the building from the outside. There's 3 floors there, and then they had a basement. It was a manufacturing type facility at one time. I don't know the true history, but an attractive building to be sure, and not fully occupied yet. And this is on Bellevue Street, 1111 Bellevue. This is just up from the street, 1155. And we're going to check out smokestacks here. But, yeah, some of these buildings need to be repurposed. They had its function in the junction years ago, but times change and whatnot, and Detroit is going through a rebirth, so we have to revisit some of these buildings and figure a purpose. So that's kind of the fun of it right now in the city of Detroit, and I think millennials kind of have picked up on this. Plus, they don't have that 50 years of baggage we have of Detroit and what went wrong. So they're thinking positive. They don't have... Oh. Almost felt like fall a little bit there, but I love the sound of the wind whipping through the trees. Yeah, I've been spotted. All right, well, I'm taking a tour of the neighborhood. I like to take those detours. This top property for Motor City Match And there's a website there, but they help you get started. It's a city program. And if you have a business plan and have some ideas, you need to talk to those people. The city owns a lot of property. Here, look at the thingies. Which thingy is bigger? A lot of times there is that competition. I think you'd have to take the tape measure out to verify that one. But here are some other buildings in the neighborhood, and some are abandoned. So the trick is if you think the building has potential, maybe contact the city first, figure out who owns the property. Some of these places still have their addresses. There's some residential stock, some of it boarded up. There's a small thingy there. This, beware of the porch. I'd be careful. Then like a little Stonehenge kind of thing going on. There's a park there, and some people were walking the dog. And good cloud day. Power in the Praise Church. And we are going to get a church performance here. I think you'll like it. But here a pheasant strutting its stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just walking in the hood, checking things out. A lot of green space here, so there's even potential if you want to just buy an empty lot and put your own building up. Well, there you go. This harkens back to an earlier time. Millennials might not quite be sure of what this... Well, it says their phone, but yeah, it looked a lot different back then. So that was in front of the laundromat. I like those old signs, even if they're weathered a little bit. But that building, smaller, but yeah, maybe repurposed. I'm just one block over, I think, from Bellevue. And then I'm going to cut back and check out some church action. Utopia Gardens. If there's anything that ails you, you need to talk to those people. There was a nice little green space right there, too. So, some buildings, yeah, might be compromised, might need a lot of work. Oh, here we go. like that performance. That rocked. Okay, 1909. Here's a design sculpt render place. I'd love to check the inside of that building. Maybe if I asked nicely, could take a peek. All right, Belle Isle Bridge. I was not willing to call it an evening quite yet, so now this is a great vantage point here of the city, and a lot of people take advantage, like for the fireworks. You get a nice view of the Belle Isle Bridge. You're right by the water, and then here you go. You get Windsor on the left, the Ambassador Bridge between Windsor and the city of Detroit on the right there. And off in the distance, Zug Island. We'll check that out shortly. That used to be Canadian Club, but you can't advertise visually anymore. But you can say it. The Belle Isle Fountain. That's working. That's quite a project, but that's nice to see that's in operation. Okay. I want to check out what was called back in the day Freak Beach. I don't know if they still call it that or not. So this is going to be on the northern end. And there's a lighthouse here, and it's actually operational. I mean, the light goes on, so the boaters certainly could use that. And, God, the sun will set. It was late. This footage was July 12th. Yeah, so it was about 9:15 the sun will set. So I still got some time. Livingstone Lighthouse. Oop, mature audiences only. I'm sorry if anyone's offended. That holds true to any show. You just never know what might happen. And, well, what's nice, too, with Belle Isle, you get that marine-type atmosphere. You get the stuff on the water. And so if you like boats, this is a good place, good vantage point. There's the two brothers. There was a film crew, some young people. They were doing some work there, maybe a video or something, or just a photo shoot. They got a crane over there. I don't know what's going on. And wildlife. Yes. Well, Belle Isle, good bird sanctuary. I don't know why we need all that graffiti. They used to have a thing that explained this whole area back here, but there's kind of like a trail and a bike path. But if you veer here off to the right and take this trail, this is what DetroitYes.com called the Freak Beach. And that was probably back in the day, but you really have to keep almost like your shoes on because, yeah, I wouldn't trust any of all that to be walking through that. It's not really a beach. You'd have to be a freak, I guess, to consider it. But it's used by kayakers. There's an inlet through here, which is really kind of neat. There's a whole group of people back there. Yeah, we got boats and planes. We just need a train to complete the picture. That looks like fun. Yeah, so doing the nature thing, Belle Isle is certainly a nice jewel that the city of Detroit has. It's like our Central Park, and actually designed. Oh, there's the map now with the little inlet and Blue Heron Lagoon. That's where the little bridge goes across. What a great name, Blue Heron Lagoon. So we have a lagoon. That's new, that paddle boat type thing, or at least new to me. I've just seen it this summer, but we'll see where it turns in. It parks near Sinbad's. Here's the Boblo boat, another look. Last week's show I had a closer perspective, but yeah, you can see it there. Then the two brothers in the background. And a ski jump. Wouldn't that be cool? Or a toboggan run? Or both? I think that's the Coast Guard. Yeah, here's Sinbad's. And yeah, that's so sad with the Boblo boat. I have no clue on what to do. Somebody has to do a cost-benefit analysis and a restoration thing, and maybe get a couple of people to weigh in and see if we can have a city GoFund thing. We can put it on the bucket list for the state of Michigan, or at least the 5-county area or whatever. Have a little millage, little like we had for the Detroit Institute of Arts. We can have a little millage to restore the Boblo boat. See if the public would support that, but I don't know. DET.com, and if I press that little button, everything lights up. The P for the passport or state parks. The P, I don't know how police officers or these state police can even see that little small P, but yeah, you need that, and you can get free admission to all state parks or Belle Isle, which is a kind of like a state park. The Detroit Yacht Club, you can only get there by that little bridge. It's an island unto itself. And by all accounts, the Detroit Yacht Club's doing quite well. The Detroit Boat Club, on the other hand, we'll have to work on that one. Yeah, this is the Detroit Boat Club. They do a little rowing there. But, we have the Detroit Grand Prix, and a lot of people, well, not a lot, some people complain, and they're worried about the noise, traffic congestion, and that they have trouble accessing the park and so forth. But because they have the Detroit Grand Prix, they get like $300,000 every year to help benefit the park. Now look at the car insurance costs. This is insanity. This is just sheer insanity. And later on, I'll talk more about it because I'll get some more of those signs.
That's the big thing. Oh, my.
Okay. Well, that's that. I'm going to have to switch tapes. And we'll just go with the blue screen for a little bit. So this is going to be the groundbreaking for the Gordie Howe International Bridge, and we only are going to see part one here. There's two parts. Press play. All right, we're going to go to Detroit. Here we got our own, football bridge. It goes over Telegraph, but if you look up top, you see the footballs. Here's I-75, and the northbound lanes are open. Okay, check this out again. Allen Park compared to Milwaukee, it's like double. And why are we paying that much again? I think things are a little dirty and dusty here, so we'll talk more about that in a bit. Okay, historic Fort Wayne. And the detour, I'm all over that. Okay, the big top tent, that's where the groundbreaking ceremony is. That's what we're going to focus on today, is the Gordie Howe Bridge finally getting underway. Now, I couldn't get anywhere near it because they had security, and you needed press credentials. I parked here at American Way, just south of Fort. That's where I'm at right there. And I brought the handy-dandy map with me. So I parked where that blue dot is. I'm going to walk down 4th Street in a northeasterly direction. Then Fort Wayne, well, I'm going to refer to that map quite a bit. Okay, service. Sales. And wait, there's more. Parts. So there's a different entrance or door for each one of those things, which is cool. 4th Street is going to experience a rebirth. It has to. It's a main thoroughfare, and there's some solid buildings. Maybe not so much that one, but along the way there is. Okay, I-75 right there, so a lot of this is probably going to get torn down anyways, because they're going to have entrance, exit ramps, and so forth to access I-75. The school, though, can stay, at least from what I saw on the map, Southwestern High School. And when they were first talking about the bridge, there were people going to school there. Not anymore. Some for you, some for me. That's like sharing. Okay, this company would stay here. They have an attractive glass building, but I wanted to check out this ghost ad. At first, I could see milk, but then here we go. It's evaporated milk. Whenever the recipe calls for milk, so that's the substitute. Maybe it's like, super milk condensed. Walker and Company. This is a ghost ad that's too far gone. I can't make what that is. Okay, well, they say East M85. Okay, here we go again. This is like more than double. River Rouge pays in the city of Indianapolis. Why is it there? I know it's the catastrophic health care, but how many people a year fall into that catastrophic care category? Because if each person is paying that much extra in their auto insurance rates, that adds up to a chunk of change. So let's do the math. Yeah, somebody whip out the figures and we'll see what why we're getting raped like we are, not to put it loosely, but there's they're doing work on 75. God, I'm not doing good calling the action. I get sidetracked. Here, Mother Nature. Every flower or weed has its moment in the sun. I'm going to check out the truck ferry, but now Fort in Livernois, and then I'm going to make a right-hand turn. And then there's Dragoon Street. I love that street name, Dragoon. It just rolls off the tongue real good. What I end up doing is making a 360 around the whole site. I'd love to be at the groundbreaking ceremony, but, press and politicians. Here's some industrial art. Yeah, you needed a press pass. You needed to be somebody, and I didn't fall into that category, but there's other ways to check it out. So I'm going to check out the scene from the kind of the perimeter. There's a set of rail tracks, and these are going to stay. So everything north of here can pretty much stay, or let's see, it would be to your left. But this Floor and Dry. They'll relocate to a place on Jefferson. Foundry Company. Yeah. I believe these buildings, though, are coming down. Atlas Foundry Company. Yeah, and I heard some noise over here. I wanted to check out this industrial art, but they're kind of working on stuff. Well, it's definitely rust-colored. Oh, and then they're doing demo work here. As a kid, I loved watching. I could watch this all day long. And actually, I found out that even as an adult, I can still watch it all day long. Simple minds, simple pleasures. That's the way it goes. It's a blessing and a curse, I guess. Okay, art is everywhere, even here. Getting the optical there. Oh, there's an eye in the sky, and they're on me. There's some vine action there. That's the Mistursky power plant. Okay, the press conference should be over at this point, so I missed it all, but they showed what transpired on the news. They had those, like, special shovels and threw a shovel full of dirt about a foot, and a lot of pictures were taken. But yeah, I love this Tonka, massive Tonka toy. And look, Google Street View. Well, maybe I'm in one of those pictures. But this is all going to change when the bridge is built and completed. So I have several maps from 10 years ago. I said, man, I got them hanging around somewhere. And I should have interjected some of these map scenes, but the maps I got was from October 29th of 2008. So that was 10 years ago. But there's the big top 10, so they had the big to-do there. But yeah, 10 years in the making. So probably next week's show or within the next few weeks, I'll share some of those maps and architectural drawings. And it kind of shows the approaches and everything. But here, taking a peek inside Fort Wayne, and it's free and open to the public on the weekends. Look at the barbed wire here. I'd hate to get caught up in that. It's like triple bad. But I was kind of appalled or surprised. You can come up with your own word or whatnot, but of the condition of the buildings inside here, they kind of let themselves go. So maybe put a brand new shiny bridge, maybe they can refurbish some of this stuff. There's some history here. But yeah, the roof is compromised there. I mean, I'm trying to find one good building that's in good shape. Where do you get the money? So maybe we put this on the state of Michigan bucket list of things to do, but that the public would support or say, yeah, we can do that. That benefits us all. Oh, there's my evil twin. He was not allowed in the festivities either. Okay, I'm where that blue dot by Fort Wayne, just to the left of Fort Wayne. And I'm going to make my way to the bridge launch point. But first, we'll go to Delray Park. And I think years ago, I actually checked this out, but you don't necessarily see it. But it's there, and that's what's nice when you're walking around. you get to see things. So it's right at the edge of Fort Wayne, and you can take the service road right to this launch. They have rules here, dawn to dusk, do some speed reading, but loud, rowdy, and obscene behavior is prohibited. Yeah, got to follow the rules and read the sign. I do that all the time, or try to. Here, artwork even in the power tower there, and I didn't realize at first where this is all going. Here's another different design power tower, but I'm admiring the tower, but they're actually, these lines go across the river to Windsor. I'll get a better view later. So I don't know if we share power, say if there's a electrical outage, and they can at least give you a boost with these lines. Kind of, I don't know how that works. Then a big sandbox across the way, and at first I thought this was where the bridge was going to end up. So I'm looking at the map, but we're at that little inlet next to, okay, follow, made it to the end of that blue line now. And I thought this would go across here, but I think it's just a gravel pit. Then it ties into the EC Row Expressway. I'm going to have to go to the Windsor side, but I think this is just a gravel sandbox area where they're going to mix all the stuff up to make their concrete. All right. There, I did my little, I'm not an artist. That's my bridge design. It doesn't look anything like that, but you kind of get the idea. I'm trying to figure this all out. There's the Renaissance Center and the Ambassador Bridge. And a lot of that truck traffic certainly would come south here and tie in with the expressway, and then it won't clog up, at least downtown Windsor. On the Detroit side, it's not so bad, but it does have its moments on our side. All right, heavy industry typically from here on down for several miles. But yeah, they were moving stuff around. Here I was noticing the fence. They're hooked up for the fishermen. They figured this one out. So they got the right angle of the dangle kind of thing. And look at the top, a bell thing. How clever. So I'm guessing that when you hook a fish, that little bell goes off. It's the signal you caught something. Anyways, panfish have less chemicals, but then the bottom feeders like carp and catfish would have more chemicals. So they tell you to eat healthy and so forth, and be aware of how that all works out. Here's a concrete place, and I like the stairwell. You got the shadow, so you get the two things going there. Alpina. So they're unloading a boat there, and I was thinking, well, maybe these guys have to move, but they don't. And the Zug Island area, which Zug Island's like heavy industry, but wow, it'd be a great place to visit. They could do a great movie thing, like an action movie thing with all the props they would have on Zug Island. All right, looking across, this is where it's going to end up in Canada. That's, oh yeah. And it's going to come across somewhere where I'm standing now, right near where I'm at. Sailboat. Yeah, this was the other sandbox area. Now look at this contraption. It's like, what do they make in that thing? It's like, they make gobbledygook. If that's what they told me, I'd say, yeah, I believe it. Looks like it could make it. There, look at the power lines right across the Detroit River, and then it ties in here with the Mistursky. And yeah, this is again Fort Wayne, some of the buildings. Okay, now dignitaries, they went by like luxury bus here. But yeah, party's over. I don't know if they served hors d'oeuvres and lunch and stuff. Yeah, I specifically went down there. I left work early so I could attend this. And I thought they'd want to ballyhoo and promote it, but apparently it's restricted. Look at the brickwork. I like this. It's a Detroit Edison building, but they have quite a few different styles. Nowadays, if you gave them a pattern like this and said, here, I want you to do a brick wall, but do it in this pattern, they'd go, huh? That's going to cost you 3 times as much. But, yeah, back in the day, wow. Fine piece of work. It's like a work of art. All right. We've had a pretty secure border. In fact, they caught some crayfish. Okay, I'm going to try to make it to the truck ferry. I'm following the signs, and it actually helps that I'm walking, because if I was driving, it'd be a little more difficult. But, yeah. So they have a road through here that swings around. Truck ferry, I got to keep going to the right. And here they're loading up. And I'm not even sure what he's getting. But it's the Marsec Level 1. I should Google Marsec, but I think that means the level where the truck drivers can come in and get loaded. Lafarge Detroit Terminal. And I think they get to stay. I don't think they have to move. Then I think of Jay Giles and the flamethrower thing. Actually, with that much heat, you'd almost think you'd put a big pot of boiling water on top and heat the water. Yeah, that's what they make there, gobbledygook. Good cloud day. Yeah, you could make a toboggan run with that top one there. Oh, yeah. Okay, this, I think, right near here where I just checked where the train tracks. I believe this is where the launching point is for the our portion of the bridge. There will be like 2 main posts. Then concrete place here. They're going at it. I think they get to stay too. They work around some people. But yeah, look at these things. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of construction jobs tied up with this. It's a great project. One guy was telling me 1,100 jobs, and the bridge will take 3 or 4 years. So that's not going to be each and every time, but construction jobs pay well. So if you got a strong back and a good work ethic and common sense and can follow orders or work instructions, hey, plan for the future. So yeah, like right there. I'm at that other blue dot, but I wanted to get a closer look, as close as I could to the inlet to Zug Island, but one of the guys working at this guy said, oops, you're not supposed to be here. Oh yeah, the red tags. This is where it's going to be. They've done their surveying. The one gentleman at the concrete place said, yeah, they had to give 25 feet of access. But it didn't impose on their operations too much. So here some more trucks can get loaded. I like this larger than life, the big stuff where things are made and things happen and there's moving parts and there's contraptions, and not everything has to be sitting, in a cubicle with a computer in front of you kind of a thing. Look how long this is coming from the truck ferry. Look at this thing. Okay, I will. Thank you. This is a super long contraption. Wow. I don't know what all that was, but it's pretty long. So the truck ferry was there, and then this is across. They have these tubes that go up and over, kind of like the Rouge River where Zug Island is. I had to take a little break there. I'll explain more later. But yeah, I'm at Zug Island in Jefferson. Someone clipped a sign. Plenty of businesses over here on Zug Island, but it's private property, so you're not allowed. So I'm not going to go on Zug Island. But I will go to the Black Horse Cantina. I was walking around quite a bit. They have menudo Saturday and Sunday, and I was told it was pretty good. Okay, a bank back in the day, but Jefferson needs a lot of work. This building, probably has to come down, but the urban planning thing really comes into play because this bridge is huge. It's not just a bridge per se and the jobs and the economic impact, but it's urban planning for the whole neighborhood surrounding the thing. So you got to look at everything now and put the puzzle back together kind of thing. And so I'm scouting things out. So I made it to West End. D for Delray, maybe? 1916. But this is the Hungarian part of town, but there's another flamethrower. Just put a big water beaker up there and then create steam or make use of that energy. Here's a steam thrower. Look at that. There's a lot of trucks down here for sure, but when the trucks come off the bridge, they would be kind of put right onto I-75, nice approach ramp, and so they wouldn't be out in the residential areas as much. So I'm sure they got this planned out. We've had 10 years, if not more, to mull everything over. So Dearborn Street, okay, that's Zug Island there, and they got a bridge heading that way. And some people were fishing here, which was kind of neat. Another fishing point. All right, there's Dearborn highlighted Green Street, kind of. And we're going to swing around. He caught a fish. He showed me. You got to watch, no swimming. I wouldn't do that where the water intake is. Then, a little trail. Let's see where this goes. I thought maybe it would kind of wind around the island a little bit, but there's a house over here and some doggies. So, I only went so far. Listen, you'll hear the dogs, or at least one dog. Iron Coffins, 1369. So that's their hangout. Then T-Rex, Gone Wild. And that's what factory rats look like. But yeah, look at this. You can rent space, put some advertising. Then this thing was moving along. This is part of the water and sewage department. So all that is in Southwest Detroit. And there's a lot of heavy industry type jobs, but necessary things that need to be done in the city to make it function and whatnot. And yeah, and I'm sure a lot of these jobs pay well too. And they should have more skilled trades training, really push that a little bit more. There's a nice truck. All right, well, we'll check a little bit of what might stay in Delray, but they were doing something where some streets they cleared out and actually are going to put up new development. So we'll see. You're kind of doing like the before and after. Hey, there's a Harbaugh in Ann Arbor, too. Here at church, and I know this is Hungarian. I know that Hungarian, the name, the way they spell stuff, that SZ. That's Hungarian. Actually, on my dad's side of the family, I'm Hungarian. So that's cool. And my dad's going to do the DNA 23 or 23andMe thing. We'll find out for sure. Train tracks here. Even art in the train tracks. And even in the sewer grates here, Detroit Waterworks meter. All right, this is where 75 hits land from going over the Rouge River. And look how thick the concrete is. I hope they got this figured out right. Because in Michigan, too, we allow trucks to carry double the national average in weight. So what do you think cracks the roads to begin with? So once it's cracked, the salt and the water get down in there and expand and contract. And then 5 years down the road, we're going through this all over again. So just make it in line with the national average. Why do we have to be so special? Then we'd save our roads. When they're talking about why our roads are so bad, well, look at that. Let's start with that. You know, a 10-year-old kid with some common sense would tell you that, too. You know. Anyways, this, I think, is all going to go. This gas station is closed, and the church, too, is bought out, and this will be part of the I-75 and the customs area and whatnot. Just, well, customs will be on the other side, but I should exit and entrance ramps is probably. Now, the produce terminal is going to stay, and that's been here for quite some time. And she's more than happy to work on your pipes. Then, it was a hot day, so I wanted to sit down for a spell. And this was a dual level. The lower level had the pool table. That's an M produce. I wonder what kind of produce that is. Wow. Then I got here too late. They were already closing up. Here, I like the sign. Detroit Produce Terminal, and it's an attractive building too to boot. So I'm going to swing back to the car. Oh, I was thinking about taking a walk on the wild side, but these buildings here, a lot of them are vacant. They'll probably get there. You see 4th Street and that little strip by I-75, that's probably all just everything's gonna be gone. Now I went to the high school and wanted to see, because they had community meetings at Southwestern High School 10 years ago, because I went to several of them, and they talked about the impact that the bridge would have on this neighborhood, and they wanted the concerns of the citizens heard, plus they wanted to make sure they were getting fair market value for their homes if they were part of the people that had to move. And so a lot of discussions along those lines. But the high school was in operation back then. But, God, with Detroit Public Schools, I don't know, the enrollment's gone down or whatnot, but the school was abandoned and subsequently kind of stripped and so forth. But, God, they could make housing with that. If not affordable housing, they could make a nice place for young people, have the pool, the basketball court, nice rooms. Yeah, it could be done up. Okay, now I'm going to, I wanted to check where the press conference was, but the security was still tight. They said, no, you can't be around. And they were getting upset with me. Actually, through the course of the day, I got stopped 7 times by security. It's crazy.
To turn the dirt to mark the start of construction on the $2 billion Gordie Howe International Bridge. Governor Rick Snyder.
I think it is important. Again, it's positive progress. From a personal point of view, I'm excited why it's still on my watch. And we want to see this move ahead.
Kevin Casillas is president of the Southwest Detroit Community.
Part of the story, drive past the bridge, you'll often see a long line of trucks, many of them carrying auto components. And time wasted is money.
Then I thought, hey, I'll do the hot sauce. Oh, yeah. Spice it up a little bit. All right, well, not far from the train station, so Green Dot's going to do pretty good with the influx of workers for that, and then also the workers that are working on the bridge. Detroit working for you. Well, with the lyrics in this song, it's a beautiful day, and actually on a couple scores it was a beautiful day, but then it's great. We're going to have this bridge. That song rocks. But now when I upload this on YouTube, they have copyright infringement, so you're not supposed to use other people's music. But it just so happened I was on the radio, and it sounds pretty good. This park's been reworked, and look, there's a phase 3, 4, and 5 coming. So this is a great deal. Detroit working for you. How about it? You see a lot of these improvements and so forth. It's all urban planning, my friends. If it's done right, everyone stands to benefit. drone action there. But yeah, we're finally realizing views from the river rock. We kind of turned our back on the riverfront a little bit, but we should open it up to as many parks as possible. Here, the river stations, so the boats, if they want to get their mail, and I think they have an exclusive zip code, but the boat will run out to the freighters out there and deliver their mail. All right, here's a pilot boat is what they call it. And then I think this would be their zip code then, 48222. Yeah, the bridge looks good, but, built 75 years old or whatnot. What was it, 1925, 28, somewhere around there? And it's showing its age, so, they might have to build their own second span. There's the Canadian flag, the maple leaf. And Windsor's been a terrific neighbor for us. Yeah, this was just a easy, lazy afternoon kind of a thing. I was just, and then looking south towards Zug Island. So the other bridge, Gordie Howe Bridge, would launch somewhere from around there. It's about 1.5 miles south of where I stand right now, give or take. Well, getting near the top of the hour. Look at the ghost dad there, Boblo Island. And through the weeping willows, I see it. All right, Belle Isle Bridge and the Canadian Coast Guard. Well, getting near the top of the hour, but I'd like to thank you for watching. Hope you have a great week or weekend, whatever the case may be. And then maybe next week can't promise, but the idea is that I would get to the second half of the Gordie Howe Bridge and maybe add some of that map action, because I think maps can help people visualize. At least it helps me visualize a whole lot better. There was a big clock up there, and we're all proud to be American.